guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Trishna and technically this is my first video of 2023, even though I posted my 2022 book tag well into 2023. I don't remember when I posted it, but it was like the 3rd or 4th week of January. And anyway, this is the first video of 2023, which is the January book wrap up. Yeah, I don't know why my brain just stopped working, but yeah, there's a January book wrap up, as you can tell by the title of the video. And before we get into the video, yes, I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse t-shirt because I'm still a little silly kid, even though I'm not even a high schooler anymore, because yesterday was our last day of 12th grade, which was very weird. I don't know. Anyway, I still have my final exams left, but it was my last day of school because we won't be writing the exams in our school. So basically in India we have like board exams, which are like these serious exams that like your entire future depends on those exams. It doesn't. I already got my university offer and I know which university I'm going to, and they gave me a confirmed offer. So technically these exams are just a formality for me, no other reason why I'm writing them. So I still have the exams left, but like they are 15 days away, like the first exam, and my last exam is on April 5th. So like it's just spread out, and technically yesterday was my last day of school. And yeah, school is over, man. I don't know how to feel about that. So we are not going to talk about that. We are going to talk about the books I read in January. And oh my god, the start of this year was so good. I'm so happy. Like none of my January reads went below 4 stars, and that's amazing. Even though I rate books very generously, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'm still happy that we started off the year with good books. Okay, so the last book of 2022 that I read was the first volume of Spy Family, which is a manga, if whoever does not know. And I started off the year because I was continuing, so I actually started this book on the 31st of January, but I could not. I don't know why. It's like 200 pages of manga. I don't know why I didn't just complete it in one setting, but I completed this on the 1st of January, which is Spy Family Volume 2. And oh my god, this was so cute. I think I like this better than Volume 1. Okay, so I read the 2nd volume, the 3rd volume, the 4th and the 5th volume this month. So instead of just talking about one each, because I actually don't remember what happened in which book, I just remember the whole thing. So I'll talk about all 4 of them together. So basically the books are that there is this spy called Twilight, who is one of the best undercover spies in that. Is it a fictional world? I'm not sure. So there's this place called Westelia. Okay, I'm not good with names. I don't actually remember the places. But so there are these 2 countries that are in a kind of war, and he is a spy from one of those countries. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I'm sorry. I know like this is my job when I'm talking on a YouTube channel, but I don't remember the names. But yeah, so he is a spy from one of those countries, and he's like one of the best spy in their world. And so basically he has a new assignment, a new mission, where he needs to get close to this man to get information, I guess. And so basically he does not, the other man, the person who Twilight needs to get close to, is not like a like he does not come in the public often, even though he's a very famous person, very important person. So the only way into his like inner circle, the only way that Twilight can get close to him is if he goes through like, so the other man's 2 sons are in the school. I'm explaining this terribly, but so the other man's 2 sons are in the school, and the only place he shows up is during the meetings of the school, like parent-teacher meetings or any kind of gatherings that happen in the school. So for that, the Twilight needs to now find a child who he can enroll in the school, so that the child like you know, he will also be invited to the school's gatherings. So yeah, so in the first book he basically goes to this orphanage, finds a daughter. So the interesting thing about this family that Twilight is building is that the daughter is a telepath, so she can read everyone's minds. So, and she's so funny, man. Anya is like one of the funniest people I've ever met. She's so funny, she's so cute. But yeah, so she's a telepath and Twilight does not know this. So anyway, he just adopts her, and that adoption story is also really cute. But then they realize that so he was like, I don't need a wife, I can just manage with this child, I can be like a single dad. But the school has like, it's a little conservative school, I guess, but he's like, both the parents need to be there or some shit like that. So he then tries to find a wife, and then he comes across this beautiful queen, Yor, who is a clerk at like a government, like something, like a very small job. And she's a clerk there, and she always gets like, I wouldn't say bully, I don't know what the word is, but her co-workers are really mean to her, saying that she's so weird, she'll never land a husband and stuff. So she wants to find a husband as well, so that people will stop talking about her like that. So then they bump into each other. I don't remember, but like they bump into each other and he's like, yeah, she'll work. So yeah, they end up being a family. Again, the funny part is Yor is an assassin. And I think they work for the different nations, like Twilight works for one of the countries and Yor works for the another. I am not sure because I just read it for the found family and for Anya being such a cute little girl. I do not remember the story. But yeah, that's the basis. So the entire story is them doing stupid shit, and then Twilight being yeah, he just gives up on Anya at one point. But yeah, it's really cute, it's very wholesome, I loved it so much. And in book 5, one of the books they adopt a dog, and the dog also had some experiments done on him, so he can see in the future, he can look into the future. And since Anya is a mind reader, she can see those visions in the dog's head, and the dog's name is Bond. So she can basically see into his brain whenever he sees the future. So now she is also like, she can also see the future. I don't know, man, but yeah, so it's cute. I read till the 5th volume. I am planning to start the 6th now, today or tomorrow, because I just completed a book and I did not like it a lot, so I need a refresher. And I can trust Spy Family that it is just going to be a cute read. So yeah, that is Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo, and Casey Lowe is the translator, because this is obviously, it's a manga, so originally in Japanese and then it was translated into English by Casey Lowe. And yeah, overall I think I would give the 4 books like 4.5, because I did not particularly like the 5th book. I mean, I liked it obviously, but like compared to the other books, it didn't reach that mark. It's just something felt missing. Wait, not the 5th, the 4th. One of the books, I don't remember. But yeah, overall I'd give 4.5. The next book that I read this year was Nothing More to Tell by Karen M. McManus. Yeah, Karen M. McManus, and this is a YA murder mystery book. So basically our main character, who I don't remember the name of, give me a sec.
2 hours later.
Okay, so her name is Bryn. So our main character, Bryn, it's Brynn. Bryn. I don't understand American names. Okay, so it's Bryn. I'm just going to go with Bryn. So her name is Bryn, and so basically she moved away from home to Chicago, I think in 8th grade, because I don't remember why, but she moved away. So a few months before that, her favorite English teacher had been found dead in the woods, and everyone assumed it was like someone, I mean, you could tell it was a murder, but everyone just assumed it was this passer-by guy, someone who later I think also died. So it was like an easy blame to give, I guess. But yeah, so everyone was like, that happened. But the people who found the body in the woods all those years ago was Bryn's best friend and two other people in their grade. So they were all 8th graders, dumb kids. So they were the ones who found the body. But she never actually got to ask her best friend if something had happened in the woods, because the day before they had found the body, Bryn and her friend, I think his name is Trip, so the two of them had a huge fight publicly in the school, which embarrassed Bryn a lot. So they stopped talking, and then the next day they found the body in the woods. So she never actually asked him if, like, what happened in the woods. But their story was basically that they just came across the body, they found the body, and yeah, they reported it. But Bryn thinks that one of the three of them murdered him. Not murdered him, but like they are some way involved in the death of the teacher. So anyway, that happened like 3-4 years ago. Now Bryn is a senior in high school, and they're coming back to their hometown for some reason. I don't remember, but she's like really sad about it because she had to leave her best friends in Chicago, and she does not really want to be back here because she doesn't like the school anymore, does not like what happened then, so she does not want to be back. But once she comes back, she tries to find a job. Yeah, she tries to find a job. I'm not telling this right, but like she tries to find a job. She comes across this show that is basically a it's a true crime show, and they try to solve the murders, or like they do documentaries on past crimes, murders or whatever. And she's not that into it. She's a journalist, but she's not into like crime and all. So but she still wants a job, and she applied to other places, but they didn't accept her and stuff like that. So, oh, I remember why she wants a job. Oh my god. Okay, so something happened in her old school, in the newspaper that she was the chief editor of, in the school's newspaper. Somebody like hacked into the computer and did some stuff, and basically the next day the newspaper had a lot of dick pics on it. So everybody assumed like she did it, but like people know her, so like they knew that she wouldn't do it, but her name got spoiled and whatever. So she was happy that she moved away for that one reason. But anyway, so she tries for these other jobs, but whenever they look up her name on like Google or anything, they find out that this happened, and they just don't want her. So she's really disheartened by it. But yeah, but this the true crime show that she goes to, she tries to like embrace that. So she does not really give like an intense application or anything. She just like talks about she just says that, you know, this is what I can do or something like that, and then she just links the article that like the dick pics article. So the person, the head of the show, finds this very funny, I guess, and she calls her in, she does an interview, and she asks her, I think, if she has any ideas. And Bryn like talks about how her teacher was murdered, but she does not believe they caught the right guy. So then they just take up the story, and then Bryn gets hired, and she starts working with them, and then she tries to solve this murder for the show. So she goes and like you know, tries to talk to people about this and all this huge deal. So in the meantime, her and the ex-best friend also kind of start talking. At first he does not want to do, like, he does not want to meet her because whatever happened in the past, so he does not want to meet her. But then over time, like, they become friends and they start working on the case together. So yeah, that's all I can tell you. I don't know if you understood anything because I'm not a good explainer, like I don't explain it well. But yeah, so that's what happens, and I really liked the story. I think compared to other of the author's books, all of which I've read, this was, well, I think the best. Yeah. Yeah, I think this was the best. I did not particularly like One of Us is Lying or One of Us is Next. I felt like they were very like, yeah, I didn't particularly like them. The other two books, 3 books, Yeah, other three books, one of them the girl is just dumb, so I did not like that. The other two were okay. I think Cousins and You'll Be the Death of Me were okay. Two Can Keep a Secret was I didn't particularly like it, but I think this was one of her best works, because in this, like, the girl actually has a bone in her body. Like, there is a reason why she's doing this. There is a reason why she's keen on finding who murdered her teacher. And then throughout the book you also find out more about the teacher and his backstory. And then, like, her perception of the teacher keeps changing. Like, at first she used to idolize him, but now she's like, damn, he was not that good of a person. So you also see that aspect. And I will tell you this, the book ends on a cliffhanger, kind of. So we don't exactly know. Yeah, I'll just say this ends on a cliffhanger. So I think there might be a book two, like how she continued One of Us is Lying, like, into One of Us is Next. I think there might be a book two. I'm not sure, but like the way the book ended, you cannot end a book like that, man. Like, that does not seem fair to anyone. So yeah, I think that'll be a book too. But yeah, thought this was good. I think I gave it 4.5. I really liked the main character, and the subplot, the romance was also really cute. I enjoyed that a lot. And there are friendships, there are multiple queer characters. I mean, there are two, but like still better than other books. So and like those queer characters are actually important to the story. Like, if they remove them, the story would crumple. So I thought that was interesting. That was a nice representation. And I really liked both of the characters, the main characters and all the other characters were pretty nice. And the ones that I really found annoying, well, they were meant to be annoying. So yeah, I think it was nice. But yeah, Nothing More to Tell by Karen McManus, 4.5 stars. Okay, so the next book I read is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Oh my god, I think this is my new favorite fantasy book. It was so good. Okay, so basically I started reading the book because Carrie Can Read, the YouTube booktuber, she recommended the book, and I was like still putting it on hold, but then I joined her book club, and Sorcery of Thorns was the January's pick. So I was like, oh yeah, let's just do it. And I cannot believe I've had the book on my shelf for 2 years and I didn't touch it. I'm dumb, man. So yeah, it was, oh my god. Okay, so the story is that we have the main character Elizabeth, and she oh god, how do I explain this? Okay, so you know how okay, let's think about this. Okay, so she is an apprentice librarian, but the library is not a normal library. So the library houses magical books, like books written on sorcery or about sorcery. Like, some of the books contain spells and stuff, and these books are like ranked from level 1 to level 10 and whatever. So these libraries, that the library she works at, they are called the Great Libraries. And she is an apprentice librarian and she wants to become a warden. Basically, if you become a warden, you get to carry a sword. So I understand the appeal. So yeah, so she wants to become a warden and blah 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 blah. She works at this library, and you see the first how do I explain? Okay, so yeah, and also is it an important fact? Yeah, so not almost all the people who are librarians in this world are orphans, and the orphanages just pick them. Like, they can come to the libraries from the orphanages at the age of 13, but Elizabeth was found on like the stairs of the library, and the warden just like adopted her. So she has been in the library since she was 4 or 5 years old. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So yeah, so anyway, the story goes on that she is convicted for this accident that happened that damaged one of the books. And these magical books are called grimoires. grimoires. We are just going to go with that. So one of the grimoires gets damaged, and a few people die, and they suspect that she was the one who damaged the book, and so she gets convicted, and she's supposed to go to the capital, yeah, the capital for her sentencing or stuff. But anyway, so a sorcerer comes to pick her up, and so basically the librarians don't like the sorcerers. Is there a reason for that? I'm sorry. Okay, like the kids in my apartment are kind of crazy, but yeah. So, is there a reason for that? Why do they hate each other? Whatever. The librarians don't like the sorcerers, basically, because they think they are like, I don't know, man. They just don't like them. So, a sorcerer comes to take her to the capital, because basically they damaged a property of a sorcerer, because they damaged a book which was written by a sorcerer which contains spells, and nobody can use those spells anymore. So a sorcerer comes to take her. So the sorcerer's name is Nathaniel Thorn, and he has this amazing servant, I guess. What do they use the word servant? Whatever, a companion who works for him. His name is Silas, and both of them, oh my god, they're so cute. Anyway, so Nathaniel has the job of escorting her from this great library, which was in Summers Hall or Summershall, I am not sure. I think the audiobook pronunciation is Summershall. So that is one place that their library is set at. So he has to escort her from that library to the capital. So, and she keeps trying to run away because she does not trust the sorcerers either, because she has grown up in the library, reading the library's book, talking to wardens who hate the sorcerers. So like, you know, and she has not really been outside of Summershall, so she does not know anything that goes on in the real world. So throughout the journey to the capital, she learns stuff. And so yeah, and so basically the book the main plot of the book is that they're trying to find who actually damaged the book, because we know that it wasn't Elizabeth. So they try to find that, and Nathaniel at first is very like, he does not want to help her, but Silas convinces him. And so yeah, it's a standalone fantasy. It is the cutest fantasy I've ever read. And I didn't think about this until I saw Hannah from Clockwork Reader talking about it. But this book gives so many Howl's Moving Castle vibes. Like the house, like the Nathaniel's house has like, it has its own system, like it does stuff and all. It is such Howl's Moving Castle vibes, man. You do not understand. Like, so if you like Howl's Moving Castle, I feel like you really like this. And it's just a really cute, it's not even that long, it's like 300 something, maybe 400. Let me check. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's 456. It's not that much, and it's a standalone book, and the ending is very heartbreaking but also heartwarming. And yeah, okay, so the next book I read is Thorn, shit, what is the book's name? Mysteries of Thorn Manor. So basically this is a sequel, like a novella sequel to Sorcery of Thorns, and it's like a short novella. I think it's like 190, 200 pages. And this was so cute. So basically whatever this ending like broke your heart, this will fix you up. So yeah, so like, you know, balance. So basically Mysteries of Thorn Manor is a continuation, and it focuses on the stuff that happened after Sorcery of Thorns, obviously. I don't want to talk a lot about it because I don't want to spoil Sorcery of Thorns. But yeah, so basically it's just fluff between Elizabeth and Nathaniel, and it's so cute. And so basically Nathaniel's manor is going crazy for some reason, and so it has logged everyone who is inside the house, and you can't go out, you'll get hit by a debris or something. So the house is going crazy, and they're trying to figure out why it's doing all the stupid shit. And while they're trying to figure that out, we also see Nathaniel and Elizabeth's relation build, and So cute, man. I love these two so much. So yeah, that's Sorcery of Thorns and Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. I gave Sorcery of Thorns 5 stars and Mysteries of Thorn Manor 4.5 because I was expecting more fluff. I needed more fluff, but also I understand why we couldn't have gotten gotten fluff, not smart. I don't want smart between them, but we couldn't have gotten more fluff because of the plot of the book. So I understand that, but I don't know, I would have enjoyed it more if we had more fluff. And oh my god, so we see the best found family in these books because Nathaniel and Silas have such a close familial relationship, and then we see Elizabeth's relationship with both of them build, and then in the second book the platonic relationship between Silas and Elizabeth. And I think there is a line where she says, I love Silas maybe more than, like, on an equal level as Nathaniel's. It's just a different kind of love. Oh my god, it was so cute. I think the best relationship in the two books is Elizabeth and Silas, like their friendship. It's so heartwarming, man. I love them, and my favorite character is Silas because he is amazing. So yeah, that's okay. So actually, between reading Sorcery of Thorns and Mysteries of Thorn Manor, I read Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute because I completed Sorcery of Thorns and then Mysteries of Thorn Manor was not releasing for like 1 or 2 more days, so I had time. So I started Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, which is by Talia Hibbert. And if you have seen my other videos, you know that I love everything she writes. Like, their books, the romance is so cute, so wholesome. I love their books. And yeah, Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute also released this year, I think January 3rd. And then Mysteries of Thorn Manor released in like the middle of January. I don't exactly remember, but yeah. So Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute is a really cute romance novel. I think this is her first YA novel. I've read, like, at least the ones I've read a lot of them. All of them were adult. So I think this is her first YA romance novel. And she, like, the way they talk, you know that she actually spoke to someone of the present generation to know how we actually talk, instead of, like, you see a lot of YA novels written by like older people. It's so weird because the words that they use, their sense of humor, it's all not our generation's humor. Like, you can clearly see that. So I liked, and I think in the note from the author or the acknowledgements, she actually talked about how she spoke to this one girl who is in her high school right now, about like high school culture and everything in the present day. So I really appreciate that research. So yeah, so basically we have 2 characters whose names I forgot. I think the girl's name is Bree. I'm pretty sure the girl's name is Bree. Give me a second. So the girl's name is not Bree. It's not even close to Bree. So the girl's name is Celine and the guy's name is Bradley, and it's the cutest book. So basically, I'll just tell you the tropes first. So we have forced proximity because they were best friends in, like, when they were small, and then they had a fight, so they kind of became like arch nemesis in school because both of them are really good at academics. So it's like academic rivals, and then now they are so cute. So basically the tropes of forced proximity, childhood best friends to enemies to lovers kind of thing. And what else do we have? We have a bunch of things. I don't remember because I read too many books this month. Normally I read like 3 books a month, 4 maybe. This month I read 9, and even if you count like all of the Spy Family together into one book, because like it took me like 2 hours to complete each of them, and if you do that, I still read 6, so that's still a lot for me. So I'm actually really happy. This was an amazing start of the year, and basically I was just reading books instead of studying, so that explains why I didn't do well in my exams. But yeah. So yeah, so Celine and Bradley, so they were really good friends when they were like in 6th or 7th grade, till 6th or 7th grade, because their parents are friends, I think. Yeah, I think their parents are, their moms are friends. Um, so that's why they were friends. And then in 6th or 7th, he joined like football. Is it football or soccer? So it's set in UK, but I don't remember what game they play. I think it's football, like normal football, soccer for you Americans. Yeah. So yeah, my brain is going blank, man. Anyway, so yeah, so he joins the football team, and like Celine is kinda weird, like she thinks she's weird, and I guess she is, because she has this whole TikTok channel thingy where she talks about conspiracy theories about different things, but she's really amazing. So yeah, so they had a fight about like how his friends weren't accepting her or some stuff like that. So they stopped talking, they had a fight and they stopped talking, and since then they have barely ever like talked civilly. Like they keep fighting in school for like marks and just random banter, which is so well written. Okay, I love the way Talia Hibbert writes banter. It's so cute and at the same time so funny. I think they are one of the funniest authors I've ever read, especially in like the romance genre. Usually when they say rom-coms, they are supposed to be comedic, but I don't see enough books that are actually deliver that rom-com. But I know that every time I pick up a Talia Hibbert book, I will be laughing my ass off, and that's what happened here. Their banter is so cute, and Bradley has like these random one-liners that are just so wholesome and cute. I don't know, they're so funny. Both of them are really funny as well. And anyway, so the story is that Celine is like she really loves this lawyer that is part like in UK. She really loves this lawyer that there is, and she's like a environmental lawyer or something. I don't exactly remember, but she really looks up to her. So this lawyer is doing like this tracking thing where the person who gets the most points, and yeah, who gets the most point, like out of a 5 points scale, will get a full ride scholarship to any program they choose to do. So it's like a very interesting scholarship program, I guess. So they have to go to this they have to go camping, and they have to stay in like for a week or something in the woods, and in that they have like small activities where they earn points and all that. So Celine really wants to go. So what happens? Yeah, so basically something happens and Bradley kind of ends up breaking her wrist. Like Bradley didn't do it intentionally, obviously, but something he does ends up breaking her wrist, and he feels like he owes her one, so he drives her to this conference thingy that's happening before they sign up for the camping thing. So once he goes there, he really likes the thing, the whole seminar thing, so he ends up signing up as well. So that's how forced proximity, both of them have to work together, and you see their relationship built from there. At first they are like these they don't really want to, but they become allies, and then they become friends, and it's really cute. So yeah, that's highly suspicious and unfairly cute. Yeah, the best thing is Bradley is bisexual, and Talia Hibbert kind of goes into a little details. Like usually they just say like they're bisexual and then they don't show us anything. But in Bradley's case, they just like she mentions how he had crush on multiple people, and they kind of also do a little bit thingy into his like how he realized he was bi and all. So that was really cute. And what else? Oh, Bradley also has OCD. and the representation was amazing. I think Talia Hibbert has at least one character in each of her books who has some mental issue, and every time the research is so well done and it's written with so much sympathy, empathy, everything. It's handled so well, and I just love everything Talia Hibbert writes. So yeah, that was done very well. And Celine's best friend is gay, and her there is a whole storyline about that as well. So it was just wholesome and really well done. And yeah, I honestly really like the mental health rep, because later on in the book, so basically Celine's dad is no more in the picture. He's alive, but he's a asshole, so he's no more in the picture. So we also have that aspect of why she is so independent and why she wants to prove herself so bad. So that aspect was that I felt like that was a very important part of the story, and again that whole thing was also handled very well. And towards the end of the story, she like realizes that maybe she's not over her dad leaving. So we see her mental health arc of how she wants to now go talk to a therapist because she feels like she still has issues that she needs to work on. So also the importance of therapy, importance of mental health was mentioned and talked about. So I really enjoy the way Talia Hibbert handles mental health and mental disorders and all of that. It's so well done. If you're like looking for like mental health rep books, I think one of my favorite ones is by Talia Hibbert, which is Act Your Age, Eve Brown, where the male character is autistic, and over the story we also realize that the main character Eve might also have some issues. So we also go a lot deep into that. So if you want a proper mental health storyline with obviously cute wholesome romance, I think you will really like Act Your Age, Eve Brown. Okay, so we are up to the last book. I feel like this video is really long. I don't really know. I've been talking for a long time and my throat is sore, so I'm just going to wrap this up. So the last book I read is Know My Name by Shannon Miller. This is the first ever non-fiction book that I have ever read in my whole life, and it was amazing. So actually I heard this on audiobook, which is also the first audiobook I've ever read. Oh my god, this book is so many of my firsts. So yeah, so first non-fiction, first audiobook, first memoir, first book that I cried for the whole book. But yeah, so the book is written by Shannon Miller. The audiobook was also narrated by her, so I felt like it had more of an impact on me because I heard it than I would have had if I had read it. And I'm also glad that I heard it, because I was crying so much that I don't think I would have been able to complete it, because it would just have been leaking. So I'm glad that I could just hear it and keep crying. So yeah, Know My Name. So basically this is a memoir about see, I didn't know about this case, but I think if you're an American or if you were old enough during like 2013 2014, this case was huge, so you would have known about the Stanford sexual assault case that happened in 2013. 2013, wait a second, is it 2013 or 2015? See, I'm forgetting details here. I'm so sorry. I should maybe do more research before I sit down and make a video and then keep getting distracted in the middle because I don't know shit. Let me just check. Do they mention it here? Please mention it. It's not mentioned. But I think it's 2013. Yeah, I'm just going to go with 2013. I'm so sorry, Chanel. But yeah, so she was the survivor of the Stanford sexual assault case back in 2013, and she was known as Emily Doe until the book came out, when she decided that she wanted people to know her name, and so the name Know My Name by Shannon Miller. And oh my god, I think she has such a knack for writing though. Like, she made me like her, obviously the story was heartbreaking, but the way she told it was so impactful. And oh, I'm so I don't know how to talk about this. I'm not good at talking about books that are emotional, man. Should I just read you the synopsis? Because if I start talking about it, I'm scared that I'll start crying. So I'm just going to read you the synopsis. I'm so sorry. Okay. She was known to the world as Emily Doe when she stunned millions with a letter. Brock Turner had been sentenced to just 6 months in county jail after he was found sexually assaulting her on Stanford's campus. Her victim impact statement was posted on BuzzFeed, where it instantly went viral, viewed by 11 million people within 11 million people within 4 days. It was translated globally and read on the floor of Congress. It inspired changes in California law and the recall of the judge in the case. Thousands wrote to say that she had given them the courage to share their own experiences of assault for the first time. Now she reclaims her identity to tell her story of trauma, transcendence, and the power of words. It was the perfect case in many ways. There were eyewitnesses, Turner ran away, physical evidence was immediately secured. But her struggles with isolation and shame during the aftermath and the trial revealed the oppression victims face in even the best case scenarios. Her story illuminates a culture biased to protect perpetrators, indicts a criminal justice system designed to fail the most vulnerable, and ultimately shines with the courage required to move through suffering and live a full and beautiful life. Know My Name will forever transform the way we think about sexual assault, challenging our beliefs about what is acceptable and speaking truth to the tumultuous reality of healing. It also introduces readers to an extraordinary writer, one whose words have already changed our world. Entwining pain, resilience, and humor, this memoir will stand as a modern classic. I mean, come on, after reading that, if you don't want to read it, I feel like this should become like a mandatory read. Like, a lot of time people ask me what is the one book you would recommend to everyone, and I think this is what I would recommend to everyone. I feel like everyone should read this, especially men, because I have goosebumps, man, every time I think about this book. It was so well written, it was so heartbreaking, so nice, so just the man. I love like her resilience, her courage. She is so strong, and I know there are so many other survivors of sexual assault who are so strong, and this book feels like a love letter to all of them as well. And oh my god, I cried so much while reading this. I feel like this should become a mandatory read. It should be, yeah, everyone should read it. I'm thinking about the book again. I'm thinking about the way the things went down after, like in the court and all. The justice system in America is so messed up, and it's not just America. In India, marital rape is still not illegal, so I'm one to talk. But yeah, like the justice system all over the world needs some real work, especially on the matters of sexual assault and rape. There are such important issues that need to be dealt with properly, with at least a little empathy. And the way they dehumanized her in court, like, I cannot imagine being in that situation and not just screaming and crying. Like, if somebody spoke like that to me after something like that had happened, I would. She's so strong. All victims and survivors of sexual assault are so fucking strong. I'm so glad I got to read this. I'm so glad that she told her story and used her voice to tell her story. It was beautiful. The book was beautiful. And that's how I ended the month of January. I gave it 5 stars. I mean, how can you not? Honestly though, I feel like non-fiction, especially if it's like biography and something, I feel very uncomfortable giving it a rating, because you're basically rating a person's life, and that does not seem right. But still, this was perfect. The way it was written, not the story. The way it was written was perfect. The way she told her story was perfect. So yeah, that's Know My Name by Shannon Miller. Everyone should read it. If you haven't read it, please do read it. And that's how I ended the month. So far this month, today is the 11th of February, and I have read one book. And it wasn't even a long book. It was barely 300 pages. I read one book. But I was writing my exams, it makes sense. But I'm really sad because I won't get to really read a lot this month either, because I have, as I said, exams starting. But I will maybe complete the rest of the Spy Family this month, because I need some dose of happiness and serotonin while I'm crying about my exams. So yeah, that's the January wrap up. I hope you found some books that you want to read. Oh yeah, that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know what, like, half of the stuff I said in the video, so ignore that. But I hope you found some new recs, some new books that you can read. And again, if you have not read Know My Name by Shannon Miller, read it. Please, you need to read it. So yeah, bye.